Okay, I think I'm here. I'm gonna head over to the chat room and make sure you guys can see me. Um, Great. Okay, cool. So I'm going to head over to the document provided by Lee and Company. And I'll be over there, and then I'll come back over for questions at the end if you're not, if we haven't run all the way out of time. Where the hell did it go? I just opened it. Here it is. Okay, chapter 8. We are moving right along on this book. Damn, you got me working today. Okay. Great. I'm heading over there. Oh, right. So the triple burner closing sequence. Sorry, I've been standing all day, and I'm going to get back to standing. Let me get this thing out of here. A triple burner closing sequence. Yeah, we're redoing the Taoist Path site. We had some problems because it was in an old style. By style, I mean like theme, whatever. And so it's not cooperating well. So let me, I think this is as far back as I can go. So you've done this, hold on. Okay, so you've done this down, and then sides here, right? So I'm on the studio set. So then once you're done with that, you will move to inhale up, exhale down 3 times. Sorry, it's like tripods everywhere in here. 3 times up and down. Inhale, come up on your toes, exhale, drop and bounce. Up on your toes, inhale, exhale, bounce. And you do that 3 times. Then the next inhale, damn it, let me go here. Next inhale, you stand in Wu Qi and just relax. Breathe through your lower dantian. Exhale, tremble up your hands, up your shoulders, down your body, and out your feet. So it's a trembling horse. Inhale, do nothing, down your lower abdomen. Exhale, tremble up, shake, down and out. So it's up through your body. And so that's the closing sequence. And then you basically, guys, take your left hand, put it on your navel, right hand on top. Ladies, right hand on the navel, left hand on top. That's the deal. That'll get you to the promised land, and that's how you close that one out. Coming back. Where'd it go? Sorry, I lost my page. Let me make sure you guys saw that. Yeah, okay. And now we're back. What is the rationale for tongue touching the roof of the mouth? There's a circuit called the Renmai channel, which runs up the front of the runs up the front of the body from perineum up to the base of the tongue. And then the Dumai runs from the perineum up the back all the way over the head to the roof of the mouth. That connects it. So it's like connecting a super highway of energy flow through your body, and it also connects your heart to your brain. And it's a very powerful way of dropping into parasympathetic nervous system dominance. Which part of the roof of the mouth is best? Right behind the teeth, middle, soft, right at the 1/3 junction where the soft palate hits the hard palate is where you touch. Whoever asked this question is really smart. The roof of my mouth has a ridge, a small slit in it. Bizarrely, I couldn't help thinking it looked like a vagina when I looked in the mirror. Is this a thing? Abso-freaking-lutely, it's a thing. In some esoteric traditions, there's a meditation that I'll teach you now because you've asked, is that part of the meditation is you sit and you drop into your abdomen, but then what you do is the tongue becomes the penis of the heart, and it thrusts into the soft palate in that place that you say looks like a vagina, and then it charges, reversing polarity, it charges energy from the heart to the brain, and it connects a circuit where you're doing internal tantra and opening from the heart to the third eye to the crown. And so that is very much a thing, and good on you for noticing it. Do you recommend doing Qigong mostly barefoot? It just gets chilly out where I'm from. What type of footwear would you recommend if you're not fortunate enough to live in Southern California? No, I don't think, look, doing Qigong barefoot is gold standard, but I certainly don't think that adding cold to your environment through your feet is going to be good. The ideal there is to wear shoes that are leather soled so that the rubber soles don't block the flow of energy. But look, don't get cold. So leather soles, and worst case scenario, if it's freezing cold, just wear your sneakers. It's still going to run energy. It won't be as much, but you will not get, like, cold constricts the chi flow, and that's going to be a challenge. So I'd prefer you wear rubber soled shoes and do Qigong and stay warm than the other way. But leather would be the obvious ones from there. Okay, so that was follow-up from last week. We're on this week now. Please walk us through an understanding of this practice, or perhaps if there's time going through the questions, whichever seems more sensible. You say it's about what we do all day, not just about what we do sitting on our cushion, but do you still recommend a dedicated daily meditation practice? Yeah, I do. I think that developing the dedicated daily practice then gives us a place of reference, a point of reference to then draw on while we're cruising around the rest of the day, tripping on what happened, right? And so creating, I live off of interest from those years that I sat on my butt for hours. And so now I sit on my butt for 15, 20 minutes. But I have been there and have enough access to there to be able to wire to that place to not get stressed out and freaked out and fall apart as my busy life and my busy world try to draw me out. So I would say, yes, pick up a 10 to 20 minute minimum practice daily of meditation, and then practice taking that off the cushion into your day. What's your advice on our wandering mind when we are starting out? You say to yourself, what am I doing right now? For me, this would lead to all sorts of mind narrative. Or is this practice you've described not really intended as a true meditation? No, it is. This was taught to me by a very accomplished Zen master who's a beautiful man. And the moral of that story, just to kind of qualify that meditation as a thing, is he is saying that the essence of meditation is non-doing, and that our mind is very hell-bent on doing all the time. And so if there's one thing you are going to do that you give yourself an allowance to do, is asking yourself the question, what am I doing right now? But then the follow-up to that is the immediate disconnection from whatever you're doing back to relaxing. So that form of meditation is a form of conscious scanning for activity that then gets unplugged and disengaged into relaxation. And you will find that the next activity, the next thing that you're doing, probably emerges within a millisecond, and then you relax into whatever that is. And the more you do it, the better you get at relaxing. And then you'll have these moments, maybe 2-3 seconds, where you find that you're actually not doing anything. And then those become the beachheads upon which you grow your practice. The other way is to do the Buddhist 4-count breathing and focus in on breathing and counting. counting and breathing. And as you get better at that, you'll notice every time your thought comes up, which is going to happen, your task is to just notice that that happened and go right back to the breathing and counting. And realizing you don't need to react, realizing that you could just get better at coming back to that place every time, then becomes kind of the groundwork upon which you build your kind of spiritual practice. Regarding true meditation, do you think it's better to have a mantra or listen to a tape, or is that very personalized? Do you find people's progress for beginners best start with recording, perhaps? No, I think the best start point as a traditionalist, I would say the best start point is silence. Find silence, hack your way into it, and do it. If you cannot, or if you're in a place where it's loud or there's other distractions, I would take the earbuds, put them in, put in a HoloSync, HemiSync, one of my CDs, whatever, and use that to guide you and use the music to like drown out the rest of it. But I'm a big fan of silence. I think that the world's medicine is hiding in the silence. And if you could find that and mine that, you'll find everything. I've realized that when I'm walking and listening to my podcast, my mind chatter stops and I'm just listening. Does that count as a type of meditation, or just being able to stay focused? So there's concentration and then there's meditation. You can concentrate on sawing a log and use that as your focus and your technical meditation. But the practice of observing the mind for reactivity and learning the skill of not jumping in, learning the skill of staying anchored in breath or mindfulness and awareness without reactivity is a separate skill that is indeed worthy of your attention. So both are good, and I think that just listening to a podcast and staying in that podcast is a wonderful way to anchor the mind in one thing instead of a million things. But I find that it's equally, if not more important, to also learn how to meditate and be less reactive. Page 169, don't worry about what you insist on getting done. If it needs to get done, it'll happen naturally at the right time. Yes, but what about chores like doing the dishes, for example? You can drag your ass on all day. You really need to, you get it done in 5 minutes. What's that about? Does it come down to inspiration or time management? Look, you could leave the dishes for a month and then have black mold destroy your house, and eventually you'll get the dishes done. The point is, how often do you think about what you need to get done versus just doing it and getting it done in 5 minutes? And so to me, this is more of a question, this example becomes more of a question of vitality. Because if I have energy left over in the tank after my workday and my commute back and the dinner that I may or may not have the capacity to digest well, to then want to get up and happily wash the dishes, that means my shit's working right. Most people come in exhausted, have nothing left in the tank, scrape up some sort of food to eat for dinner, and then have zero energy left because their body is burdened with the food that it's trying to extract energy from. And that's why the dishes don't get done. So getting out of your own way is also subject to finding your vitality and fixing your energy economics, so that then when you have the energy of life flowing through you, it's not about inspiration. No one's inspired to do the dishes, but you just get up and do it, right? Time management, that's just a matter of being able to, again, understand where you stand. And this is a can of worms, because there's a whole very large conversation about time management that I'm going to open up with you guys, probably in a separate call, that has to do with event management and understanding, like, you're also not going to get to the dishes if you've planned on writing your dissertation, watching 6 episodes of Marco Polo or Breaking Bad, and checking on email and spending an hour on Facebook that evening. So what is your commitment to that evening, and have you drowned out your evening and robbed yourself of simplicity? Because if you have, that also becomes a very big issue, and that's also an issue that you need to look at in your own life. Hold on one second. I'm in the office alone, and I don't know what's happening here. Hold up. Who's people? Hold on one second. Hi.
Hello. Hello. How are you?
Hi. Good. Oh, you're with Myra.
Yeah.
Yeah, great. Yeah, come take a look around. I'm on a web call right now, but just take a look around, and I'm done in 12 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so just
Okay.
go everywhere. You just look at everything.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, you got it. Hi, guys. Almost back. Okay. Never a dull moment here at well.org. And great. So, hope I answered that one. We all know it's good for us, so why do we resist starting this? It comes down to inspiration. What? Oh, you resist starting it because you resist change, but you resist starting it because you haven't made time for it. And so there are things you have to take out in order to have room for things that are going to be good for you, that will eventually make you efficient enough to do many more things. So it's about time and event management for that, especially on that comment. Is it important to have the thumb and index fingers touching, or isn't that a bit cliche? No, it's not cliche. It's because there are certain meridian systems that are locking in and touching, so you're hooking up the meridian systems of the metal element and effectively the earth element, and that accesses the brain in certain ways, and it maps differently to the brain. So no, it's not cliche, and it is important. What about the tongue? Should that be on the top of the mouth? Yes. Do we have to be sitting? Could we lie down on the earth? No. Why? Because lying down to a modern person equals napping. So if you want to take a nap, please go take a nap. That's great. I'm sure you owe yourself many naps, but don't fool yourself into thinking you're meditating by lying down, because you will be snoring. I don't make those rules either. How do you actually take breaths to your lower dantian? You mean like really, really take a deep breath, or is it more a visualization thing? No, I mean engage your diaphragm, and as if you have an imaginary balloon down there, expand it on the inhale and deflate it on the exhale. And if you can't feel that yet, it means that you have adhesions in your diaphragm and the ability for it to pull down, and it's just a muscle that is underutilized. The diaphragm is a muscle. So the more you do it, the better you will get at pulling the lungs. The diaphragm is a muscle that pulls the back of the lungs down, which helps increase oxygenation. So you can very, very much so feel the lower dantian filling and emptying with breath. And until you have felt that, you're not there. And once you have felt that, you'll find any blockages or adhesions to that and become aware of them and move through them. And as you do so, you will unlock immense amounts of energy and unravel your karma and come to the light body in a very powerful and potent way. It's going to take work. Are you up to it? Page 168. You'll find that with time, it's tremendously liberating, and you will learn to relax more and more into your intact energy field, which will reveal the true I to you. Oh, I just answered that, kind of. Talk about that a bit. What sort of time frame for commitment are we talking about? 6 months? I mean, we're holding you ransom on this, but in regards to this true I business, you mean something like becoming clear on your purpose? Something like that. But there's more to it than that. That's a very narrow stance on the most profound realization in your entire life, in multiple lives, is understanding who you truly are. So 6 months, maybe 60 years, maybe 600 lifetimes, but you better start now. And you can do it in one lifetime. And I will make no time commitment, but I will promise you that it is the only game in town. It's the most important thing you'll ever do, and everything in your life will assemble around it and work out to help conspire to make that happen, and it will support you in ways that you didn't think you needed to be supported, and it will pull you away from things that you insisted you needed to be doing and have proven to be a waste of time, but you just want to hang on to them. Pedram, I really like meditating, but I have a problem. When I get relaxed, I tend to fall asleep, even during 4-count breathing, for example. Where am I counting? Any solutions for that? Yeah, I'd say sleep more. I would say look at your adrenals and fix them. And I would say spend as much time as you can. And I don't know who asked that, but especially if you're in the northern hemisphere and we're going into the fall and dropping into the winter, spend as much time as you can sleeping. Pay back some sleep debt. Come back to life, and one day you'll find that you could sit in meditation and simply meditate. But right now you owe yourself so much sleep that I would try to meditate, that's fine, but commit to sleeping as much as your body asks for it until one day you've drank your fill, then get up and do something else. Page 168. Once you get a sense of how this practice works, simply program your subconscious mind to continue to ask it of yourself throughout the day. It would be a simple and effective way of programming the subconscious mind. A simple answer, talk to it. You can embed suggestions in your subconscious mind. If you really want to say, I am beautiful and I am thin and I am engaged in doing my 100-day gong, I'm engaged in doing my push-ups every day, and I am a Qigong practitioner and I do Qigong as a way of life. If you get up and say that every day and speak to your subconscious, say, I'm saying this directly to my subconscious. Pedram is filled with vitality, and his Qigong practice helps build him and support him every day so that he could be a better husband, father, business owner, whatever. And I am constantly engaged in the act and discipline of self-betterment. And as my subconscious, I ask for you to guide me through the superconscious mind to make the right decisions and steer me clear of decisions that would be detrimental to this plan. Right? I just made that up on the spot. And you say that every single day to yourself, and that will be very supportive of the work that you're doing, and it will help you help yourself in a very real way. I'm back to the chat room. Sandra, meditate daily, but monkey mind is getting more acrobatic. To that, I would say start exercising more, look at your liver. You might need to cleanse your liver, and you might need to, cleanse kind of toxins out of the blood. If not, get into moving meditation, Qigong, just get some blood flowing, get some sweat coming, and that should help. Rick, is the sitting position during meditation key? The key part to the sitting position, Rick, and that's a great question, is aligning your spine so that you have vertical alignment so that you can effectively connect crown to root in a straight line. That's the important part. When you go flat, you're going to compromise that, and then you're not working on that energy flow, you're not working on that axis, and then you're in trouble. And then to Richard's point, which is a very good one, if you're falling asleep while meditating, that's why we do all this stuff, right? That's why we get into these horse stances. We do all the stuff that's in the book. It's built around the Kung Fu discipline of building power and robust energy flow in your system so that you have the chi available for when you're meditating to rise it up to your spiritual centers and do stuff with it instead of just sitting around ruminating, right? So I'm going to end, I have 3 minutes, and I'm going to basically end this conversation on a quick story that I'll reiterate, which is the patron saint of the Shaolin Temple, who started the Shaolin tradition and really revitalized Shaolin, was an Indian monk named Bodhidharma, who's called Damo in the Chinese tradition. He came up and took residence above the Shaolin Temple and did a bunch of cool stuff in caves and like melted the rocks and turned them into glass with his mind and all sorts of. They all knew about this guy, but they didn't know what to do with him. And eventually they're like, man, this guy's a badass. We're inviting him in. He comes in. He's like, what's wrong with you? You're all sitting around praying for world peace, and you're all skinny and feeble, and you're falling asleep, and you think your meditation's getting you anywhere, but none of you have any vitality or chi. And every time the bandits come through town, they beat you up and rape the woman and children and take all the food. Why? How is this? How are you defenders of good with this type of stance? So he started teaching them what became called the Damo's 18, which is the original kind of Qigong set that powers the Shaolin Kung Fu tradition. And then they started to revitalize. They were doing a lot of standing stuff. They were up in stances, using their legs, building their chi. And then not only were they able to kick ass and fight off the bandits, they had enough vitality and energy to then use that in their meditation to cultivate Shen and awareness and become far better monks, far better citizens of their local area in China, and just far more effective at the work that they had set out to do. So meditation is awesome. Qigong to power your vitality, to then enable your meditation to do what it's supposed to do. That's the good stuff. So I'll end on that, and thank you all for being here. I enjoy this. We might have a little bit of a shift in days next week just because I have some TV thing pushing up against it, and that always kind of creates a little bit of a time stress with the internet connection and all the crap that goes along with this. So I will let you know, but in the interim, have a wonderful week, and keep it up. I love this stuff. Bye.